Good evening and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seats, as always, our good friends, Miss Angela Rose.
Hi, everyone.
And Mr. Darren Starling.
I don't see an Angela. All I see is an A.
If she put a lot of A's, we're going to be like, and we're joined by,
You know, I could do that, but nobody would get the joke.
Yeah. Especially on the audio-only side, because they can't see the video.
Well, there was also an MMO anime where one guy basically couldn't come up with a name for his character, so it's A was what he put for the character name.
It works.
And tonight we have a guest joining us. We are excited to welcome Kaya Tanu back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us, Kaya.
Yep, anytime.
And hello to all of the awesome people in the chat, John Knight, Ross, and Nunya. Great to see all of you in the chat room tonight. And I know we're going to have a lot more people popping in. And tonight we're going to be talking a lot about the upcoming convention, since Boston decided to go back-to-back with their big cons at the end of the month. Next weekend is PAX East, which Angela and Kaya are both going to be at. And then, of course, the big announcement of Anime Boston allowing us to have press for the third consecutive year. So Angela and I and my wife will all be at Anime Boston, looking to provide good coverage of that like we have in the years past. So we're going to be talking about those conventions. Of course, the animes that are airing, some announcements of shows getting sequels that I don't know why one specific show got a sequel, but I'll probably still watch it because I watched the first one. But also want to remind everybody that Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you by Triple S Lawn Care. If you're in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area and you're looking for lawn care at a quality price, be sure to reach out to Triple S Lawn Care and Darren will hook you up.
Please give me a call. 'Tis the season.
And already in the chat, Ross, I agree with you. I don't know if you are caught up on Fluffy Paradise, Angela, or not.
No, I believe I've only watched up to 11.
Okay. Then no spoilers, but Ross says, I hope Fluffy Paradise gets a second season. And I'm just going to say they did it dirty. But I'll leave it at that.
That's probably going to be, that is going to be on the watch list for probably Tuesday.
Have you watched that show at all, Kaya?
I have not.
I think you would enjoy it because I know you like cute, fluffy things, and that is basically all this show is cute, fluffy things.
It's cute. It's very much. It's cute. It's adorable, and I'm actually surprised I enjoyed it as much as I did.
And it's an isekai, which is what really surprises Angela for having enjoyed it.
I expected to give it. It was not my pick. It was husband's pick, and subsequently, I expected to give it 3 or 4 episodes and then be done with it. But it actually didn't feel like an isekai and actually had enough substance to be, like, actually really good.
And no regrets after watching it. And now with the conventions coming up, of course, first is PAX East next weekend. And I know, Rob, you and Angela are both going to be there. So let all of our listeners out there know, and the viewers out there know exactly what you're looking forward to.
Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy is huge. That is a game that is arguably my favorite video game franchise, but I'm going to be working the info booth I'm looking forward to catching up on kind of everything.
And I know that with both conventions being back-to-back weekends, I have a feeling that it's going to affect attendance for both, just because people who normally would attend both when they're spaced out have to choose now. I know, Kaya, in your case, you had to choose either PAX or Anime Boston.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask, was it the Final Fantasy announcement that made you choose PAX over AB?
Yes.
That's fair.
And I want my shirt.
Sure.
Well, they got the booth, Final Fantasy 14 booth with the raid. So you complete it, you get a shirt.
Gotcha. No, I don't. 14 is one of the 14 I don't MMOs as a whole I don't enjoy, so but 16 I played that I probably put 100 hours into.
The only Final Fantasy game I ever played and completed was Final Fantasy IX, which didn't get a whole lot of love, but I thought it was a fantastic storyline, and I enjoyed the characters in that.
I played a large chunk of 9, got stuck, and never went back to it because I got distracted by other things. And if I went back now, I'd have to restart the game.
It is tough to go back, because I recently, or not recently, but in the last couple of years, I had downloaded it on my Nintendo Switch to, play it again. And I'm like, the graphics are just so bad compared to what we see now.
The joys of Game Pass for my PC. But yeah.
But it's still the same game that I remember. Although I think what made it fun too was the fact that what we nicknamed some of the characters. And I originally watched friends of mine who were big into the Final Fantasy franchise play it, and that's what got me interested in buying the game and playing it. Of course, that was back in the PlayStation days where you had 4 discs that you had to put in. The good old days of, you went so far, you have to replace, or you put in disc 2.
But no, if I'm the taxes, no, the con badges are expensive. There's a reason we don't do hotel for PAX. And then Anime Boston is where we do the hotel, because Seaport's even more expensive than the Hines area.
And Ross in the chat says, I just want to remind everybody that the anime you are watching that are on regular schedule ends this week, but the ones that started late in the season or have 13 episodes will end in 2 weeks. Which is why Fluffy Paradise's last episode went up today.
Fluffy Paradise started a week early. If I remember correctly, it started before almost everything else.
I know that on High Dive, Gushing Over Magical Girls still has 2 more episodes to go. Free Run, I think, has 1 more to go before they stop to work on season 2.
I know we watched episode 11 of Signs of Affection today. National season 2, I believe, was 11. And the other one, Apothecary Diaries, was episode 23. But I think that's good. I think we've only got 1 more episode of that.
Talking back to the convention schedules, I know, Rob, that you're not going to make Anime Boston, but have you seen any of the guest announcements or any of the news that's come from Anime Boston for this year?
Saw the HoloLive, and I am sad I'm not going.
Did you hear the musical guests?
I did not.
They have Raj Ramaya, who's a composer and producer. Lotus Juice is going to be there. Queen Bee, Aizaki with Kaya, and Baby Beard. So they have 5 Japanese musicians coming in to perform concerts at Anime Boston this year.
Nice.
Not gonna lie, I'm actually almost more excited for that than I am anything else.
I am excited. I really want to see the Baby Beard concert. I've been listening to some of their music, and it actually isn't bad. I'm excited about industry guests. Kaho Shibuya is going to be there. I'm more excited for the Japanese guests than I am for the English guests this year, which is not normally like me. But
The big draw for me. The big draw for me outside of the musicians is Kaho. Not gonna lie.
And I remember last week talking about that it seemed like they were really light on the English voice acting side. And then this week they dropped a bunch, including I think it was like a group of 5 that they dropped that were coming courtesy of High Dive. But their guest list for the English voice acting side of things includes Alejandra Saab, Alyssa Merrick, Casey Mongilio, Christina V, Greg Ayers, who is a staple at Anime Boston, Hayden DeVoe, Jack Stansbury, Kira Buckland, Kristen McGuire, Maylee Flanagan, Michelle Ruff, Natalie Rial, and Zeno Robinson. So a lot of great guests that are going to be there. I was hoping that when they were going to have it, when I saw that they had another Japanese band that they were going to announce, I was hoping it was going to be Creepy Nuts, but
that would be cool, but
maybe next year.
Mm-hmm.
If Creepy Nuts comes next year, we'll have to get Darren up for sure.
Oh hell yeah! But no, the big PAX East is also their schedule is largely online. The one of the big draws is the keynote speech on Thursday is Matt Pat, a big internet personality who recently announced his retirement from YouTube.
Yep.
And then the Final Fantasy panels was a big thing.
Thank you for having it in main events this time and not a small panel room.
14 is at
main. It should be at the main, one with Yoshi P. And then they have one that's going to be in the other.
One of them is going to be in the largest of what they refer to as the satellite theaters. The other is in main theater, and I do not remember which is which. The one that was in the smaller theater last year is in main theater this year.
Yep, that's the one, because they've done it every year, and it's hectic. It turns into a crap show with all the people trying to get in. And
us enforcer. I was one of the enforcers that was helping out during that adventure last year.
Yeah, because I got stuck on one side because I think there was a miscommunication last year because I talked to one of the enforcers. They said an hour before, wait here. And then I guess everybody was on the other side of the building, and that's where they wanted them to wait. But they let us get into the line as well, which was nice.
Oh, yeah, no, there were a lot of the smaller theaters get a smaller number of enforcers assigned to them, and basically none of the enforcers assigned to that room had any clue that this panel was going to be as popular as it was. Because sometimes that just happens. And mass chaos ensued, but as a group, we are prepared for it this year. That and main theater. The main theater, it is a very large it seats a large number of people. I was told over 1,000, so
Oh, we should definitely be fine.
knock on wood. Highly unlikely that it will actually fill to the point of breaking fire code.
It'll probably cap. It'll most definitely cap.
They will also probably do what they call a standing room only cap, where they will put in as many people as possible, because especially post COVID, they put fewer chairs in the theaters just to kind of not put them too close together.
Ah, okay. Did not know that.
But it makes sense.
Yep.
It does. But there were discussions about potentially going back to basically putting, because there's the maximum you can fit in the room without breaking fire codes, and then there's various degrees of soft caps based on many factors, including, the popularity of the event.
And
But
go ahead, Ange.
But I expect the Final Fantasy panels to cap. I expect there to be, being that I'm going to be at the info booth working, I expect there to be 1,000,001 questions of how to get to those panels specifically. So, but I know that they'll do their best to let as many people in as possible.
We know Kai is going to be there early so that they can get their seat.
Oh yeah, I'll be there an hour early.
As it should be. That being said, what you may want to do is double check with the enforcers up there, because sometimes they let people start lining up 2 hours early.
Yeah, that's what I did last year. I went in the morning. I went up there and I asked the enforcers near the room what the deal was with lining up for that event. So I'm gonna do the same thing this year.
Yep. But it's very much a. There's no across the board. There's no across the board necessarily hard rule, but for some of the more popular panels, they will start letting people line up 2 hours early. But Doug, you were saying something from the chat?
From the chat, I was going to say, Ross says, Happy St. Patrick's Day. Totally forgot that it was St. Patty's Day. And he was saying that Kaya cannot get pinched because they have green. I do have green on my shirt and the little turtle here, so I was covered.
I'm safe because anime is in my blurb.
And she does have the mint green dress on, so we'll just move Darren down here, and now and now he's no longer safe. But pinching him might be the only thing that keeps him awake.
And then you're gonna switch the cameras back when I get home, so Anya's in the frame.
Yep. But I know we are excited about, Anime Boston coming up, 3rd year in a row of being press. And I hope they do the press this year like they did it last year, where they just announced, okay, these voice actors are going to have press conferences at such and such times in these specific rooms. If you want to come, show up. Whoever's there will be able to ask questions, and they were wonderful about working with us to be able to make back-to-back. When one press conference ended, we were able to get right into the next one that was like starting at just like minutes after the first one ended. So I liked that rather than having to sign up for specific ones. I think things just work smoother that way, but that's just my opinion.
I can agree with that.
And we'll do our best to try to get some good coverage for you, Kaya, since I know that you're excited about HoloLive. I'm not sure if we can get any HoloLive stuff, but
That'll be hard. They're
it,
usually pretty private on stuff.
yeah. But it would be interesting to. I mean, if we could get some of the VTubers to come on outside of you, I think it would be a lot of fun, especially knowing that we have the technology to use the VTuber's image, and we can keep all personal stuff private. Obviously, we respect the privacy of our guests. And I see that you've already answered John Knight's question in the chat, who asked who got you into anime. But for those listening in that had heard the question, who did get you into anime?
Basically, watching anime since high schoolish, probably before that, because I know when I was in middle school, I watched Sailor Moon and Digimon in the morning. I didn't really know it was anime until high school.
I couldn't get into Sailor Moon. I attempted and I got like 4 episodes, and I'm like, I think it was Sailor Moon's best friend. The voice, just I could not get past that to keep watching it. But
I tried with the new Sailor Moon. It didn't grab me at all.
I never watched Sailor Moon either. Even though I know it was on TV at one point, probably on the kids' WB in the morning, I don't think I was watching a lot of stuff on there at the time. Actually, they had kind of phased out a lot of even the mainstream anime by the time I got into it. Because I know Pokemon used to be on there. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Was about the only thing they had on there that was considered anime at that time when I was watching.
And I know Kai can be proud of me. I did get Darren to watch Shine Post. He's not big into the idol anime stuff.
Nice.
But
it was good. I'm not gonna lie.
I still say it's better than Love Live.
And I maintain Doug is the only one that didn't finish the show when we did our everyone pick for somebody else.
I tried.
Yeah, we still have a right to give you crap.
Oh, you can give me crap, but I could not get into Demon Slayer. Or not Demon Slayer, Goblin Slayer.
I was about to say,
Really?
why would you even compare the two?
Because they both are Slayers.
Goblin, I love the Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer is top tier in comparison.
I couldn't get into either one, so I'm weird.
I at least watched season 1 of Demon Slayer, but the hype just killed it.
You can be proud of me though, Darren. I have gotten up to 17 episodes of Jobless Reincarnation.
Is it as good as I told you it was?
Yeah, my wife and I binged 7 episodes today while we were just kind of relaxing.
Good. I have to say, hurry and catch up. We got season 2 Core 2 releasing soon.
Oh, I know. I'll be behind for that, but we'll catch up in a bit.
It's an incredible journey. That's all I can say.
I'm still tossed up about Eris. I'm not sure if I like her or don't like her yet.
Just wait. Just wait. Just wait. I was gonna say, so as far as the journey goes, has it gone the way you thought it would, or is it a show that's predictable? Not really. What do you think?
No, it's thrown some curveballs at me, which I kind of like.
Has he been attacked by the girl and gotten his eye yet? I believe he has, right?
Yeah, he's got his eye. That was like 3 episodes previous, 3 or 4 episodes. I just got to the part where he reunited with his dad.
Ah, that's when it starts getting good. But that girl was just kind of a curveball thrown in that I was like, okay, I like where this is going.
I think the English in the English dub, I like playing the game of guess the voice actors, and I think Monica Rial voiced her. It sounds like a Monica voice. I haven't looked it up, but that's what it sounds like.
Well, in season 2, someone she knows is going to be introduced. So, not spoiling anything, but someone she knows. But I'm proud of you.
So, and like I'm looking through the English cast of it right now, and it's not even showing down that far, which is unusual. Usually it has more. But Danny Chambers was in that as the maid. Okay. I'm sure I could find it if I spent more time searching, but in the chat, Kaya John Knight wants to know, have you seen the show by Rock Dub?
I have not. I actually don't watch dubs. Weirdly enough. And I know some people find that weird.
I'm gonna play. I too typically watch the subtitles, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate and go, why is it that you prefer to watch subs?
I'm just so used to it. I've done it for so many years. It's just I don't watch the dubs anymore. I haven't watched dubs since a little bit after high school.
I concur with a lot of them.
I watch both. And a good example of that is I watch Freerin subtitled first, and then I go back and watch the dub episode with my wife when it drops, because usually we watch that together while we're eating dinner or something of that nature. We'll put on a show. Like tonight, we watched Fluffy Paradise while I was eating dinner before the show.
Yeah, we just have a rule of no watching anything with subtitles while we're eating.
Really? I'll watch subtitle stuff while I'm eating. It's weird.
No, that's a personal thing with my husband. He doesn't want to try to watch subtitles while eating.
The distraction of the food.
And I've just gotten so used to that that's one of those whatevers. So depending on how much we're watching in a particular season, we will, once dinner is finished, we will just go through the list of what's up for the week for our shows.
And Nunya Business in the chat says dubs are a lot less annoying when it comes to following the original script, but I can also read faster than I can process through my ears. And I feel like the more that you watch subs, the better you get at following the story and still reading what's on the screen and feel like you're not missing anything. I know some of the deterrent to people who prefer dubs to subs is they can't keep up with the subtitles fast enough, and it feels like it takes away from the action on the screen. But I don't feel like that deters at all for me. Not anymore. Maybe when I first started watching, but I think the more that I've gotten into it, I also feel like watching a show both subbed and dubbed when you have the option to helps to be able to keep up with the story as well. In case you miss something while reading the subtitles, you can go back and watch it dubbed and get the idea of what was going on. And dubs have gotten a heck of a lot better than what they were.
That I will 100% agree with. Because I tried way back when we're talking 90s, it was a 90s or early 2000s anime, the dub. There was one particular voice for the dub that killed it for me, and I had to go back and watch it subbed. I get why they did it. It just, the voice annoyed the hell out of me.
And hello to Sharka, who just came into the chat. Great to see you. John Knight asked Kaya, do you speak Japanese?
I wish.
I love how your ears moved when you said that. That was great.
That's adorable.
I will get distracted by your model tonight. That's for sure. Like the tail moving, the ears moving. Love the Neko characters.
I cannot move fast enough.
And Ross says, what specific anime is everyone looking forward to for this spring season?
Or I gotta go back through the list.
I have a laundry list again, but number one for me personally that I'm looking forward to is Bartender Camino Glass.
I have to pull it back up. I'm not sure if I'm more excited about the new Spice and Wolf that's coming out or Konosuba 3.
Because I have been talking about Bartender pretty much since like the first promotional stuff dropped last year.
Oh, I forgot. Slime 3 for me.
For me, it's a toss-up between Data Live, Slime, and Konosuba.
I would have said Data Live, except season 4, I couldn't get into. I tried it in sub and I tried it in dub, and it just did not hook me like the first 3 seasons did. And in my opinion, season 3 I thought was the best season, story wise, character wise, and whatnot.
Why do I have a feeling that my list is going to be like this upcoming season? My list is going to be so different from all of you, minus maybe one romance. Because I think we put a romance on the list for next season.
I think we did. We're all just gonna watch the Bartender one.
That one kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
There was the podcasting one we all said we had to watch, even though none of us thought it was our type.
Mm-hmm.
You have to write that down. I don't remember what show was that for the podcasting.
The many sides of a voice actor radio. Seiyu Radio no Uramote.
Let me write that down so that I have that by my desk.
But no, I on my watch list is stuff like Kaiju 6, Go Go Loser Ranger, a lot of shonen types, a lot of weird stuff, and I think a romance.
What was the romance again?
I don't remember, and I'm driving, so I can't pull up my list.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of sequels this season.
I'm still waiting for season 3 of Love Live Superstar.
I'm one of the. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but I really want to see a second season of My Happy Marriage.
And was it the one about the grandpa and grandma reverting back to their youth?
That might have made my list. I don't remember.
Well, I know you said romance, and that's the only one I picked out so far.
Like I said, when I get home, I'll actually pull up my list, but given that I'm going to be on I-90 pretty soon,
And Sharka says the bartender anime looks really interesting. She's also looking forward to the new season of Black Butler. Black Butler has not died, it is still going.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not sure.
I think it all depends on who you ask. I think a lot of anime fans, especially the English dub fans, are probably excited to get more J. Michael Tatum. Which, if you've ever met Tatum or talked to him or gone to any of his panels, you know that he refuses to cosplay as Sebastian ever.
But then there's also the fact that it's been how many years since there's been Black Butler content?
I think we've reached a day and age in anime, and Darren and Kai, I think you can agree, where I don't think it matters the amount of time between. If they want to continue a series or make a season 2, they're just going to do it. Different studio, different voice acting, whatever the case may be. They're just going to do it.
Yep. Because how many series have we had that have taken like a 5, 6, 7, 8 year hiatus, then come back out of nowhere, or they come back as a complete reboot and actually do a good job,
Too
aka
many?
Fruits Baskets, which nobody saw coming.
Yeah, Fruits Basket remake was amazing. Bringing back Spice and Wolf, they've brought back, or they're bringing back Panty and Stocking again after a long hiatus. They made a season 2 of Devil's a Part-Timer.
And they're doing a season 2, part 2 of that as well. So it's continuing.
And Ross says, I'm looking forward to the Grandma and Grandpa Become Young Again anime. And his list has 19 shows that he's planning on watching, it looks like.
I think we swore we weren't going to do another season with 10. I think we came pretty close to doing that. But we actually started with 11 and are mostly caught up with 9.
And Ross says 14 years on Black Butler. But the last thing was 10 years ago for Black Butler, which was a movie. And the last anime that came out was Book of Atlantic movie.
I think I remember that being hyped up for some reason.
I remember a friend of mine at one point really enjoyed Black Butler and was trying to get me to watch it, and then I forgot about it, and then I never got into it.
Now, as far as anime goes, Kai, I know that you are a big fan of the music-based animes. Are there any good shows coming up that you're looking forward to from the music side of things?
I want to check out the new Idol Masters anime.
Is that series any good? Because I've never taken the time to look into it.
I enjoy it. It's more it has singing, normal music stuff, but it's more of the idol side of it.
Have you ever? I'll wait till you're finished with that topic.
And do you? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, if you understand what I mean, like the idol side with having the manager and stuff.
Some of the underground, behind the scenes things.
Yeah.
And oh god, what was the name of that show?
The Idol
Ah.
Master. Oh, the one
No,
coming out, or
No, it's one that I had watched that it was like the old strategist who like gets reincarnated and works with the singer. I think it was a high dive show.
Are you talking about your boy Kangming?
Yes. Did you watch that one, and what did you think of that?
I don't think I watched that one.
That one actually was really good. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and the music goes pretty hard. I won't lie. I enjoyed the music in that as well. So that's a music anime that I can recommend to you. There aren't many that I can recommend.
Okay, I've seen videos with the songs and stuff from this. I know what it is. Okay. I gotta watch this one.
And John Knight wants to know, have you seen Bocchi the Rock?
Never finished it, started it. Just like most of my
Okay. And I was going on the topic of music anime. Have you been watching the Sound Euphonium series?
Yes, I cannot wait for the next season.
Well, yep. So that's a spring anime. So it's starting in the next few weeks.
Yeah, if you like band anime, that is a good pick.
And let's see, another one in that genre was Bang Dream, one of those musical ones too.
Yep.
Wasn't that getting something else, or was I thinking of Sound Euphonium?
No, I think there's more Bang Dream coming.
I don't think is there.
Oh, I remember.
I don't think there is. I know the game's still going on.
Apparently, in the spring, they're going to have a Uma Musume movie.
Yay! I think it was advertisements for the game I kept seeing.
Potentially, because I had been seeing Bang Dream stuff, and it could have just been memes and stuff through social media that I'd been seeing, but I thought there was more of that coming.
No, they still release songs. The game's going strong. There's still merch being released. I think they have like 3 new bands.
And in the chat, Ross asked Kaya, this spring, will you be watching Astronaut, an alien rom-com anime?
What was it called?
Astronaut? I haven't heard of that one.
No, I haven't heard of that one.
I'm looking through my anime list right now, seeing if I can find it. Oh, I see it here. Astronaut. Okay. I don't know if that's one I'm going to watch or not. Just looking at the synopsis, it doesn't jump out at me. Above it, though, is an anime called Girls Band Cry. Have you heard of that one?
I feel like Girls Band Cry is one of the ones that made its way to our watch list. Like, that sounds familiar, but
And the synopsis on that one says the main character drops out of high school in her second year and aims at entering a university while working alone in Tokyo. A girl is betrayed by her friends and doesn't know what to do. Another girl is abandoned by her parents and tries to survive in the city by doing part-time jobs. This world lets us down all the time. Nothing goes as planned, but we want something that we can continue to like. We believe there's a place where we belong. That's why we sing. So it's an original anime produced by Toei Animation. So that has a chance of being really good. Toei's put out a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I think that is on my list.
Hmm.
All right, you know what? Let's see if I can do this without breaking.
Angela's trying to do something without breaking it.
Breaking
That'll
the
never
sound
succeed.
Oh, ye of little faith.
And it's been a while since you've been on with us last, Kaya. And last time that you joined us was a crazy show because we had Griffin Burns on before you, and that was a 3-hour show. So how have you been?
Been good. Working a lot. So I haven't been really able to do too much. You know, with the job switch I did a few years back, work's gotten busier.
Not
But
as much time for the conventions and stuff.
no. I went from having 4 weeks vacation to 2, so I lost 2 weeks worth of vacation time. And being now bottom of the totem pole in seniority, I'm lucky I get the weeks I get.
Yeah. Oh, I can totally understand that, especially with the job switch I did working for a railroad where, like I said, I'm on call right now anytime my phone could ring. So if I happen to duck out at some point, to all of you awesome people out there, I apologize, but I am up next on what's called the extra board. So if a conductor calls out sick and they need somebody, my phone will ring. Although I think the next chance that I would get called for something would be in about 15 minutes. So if the phone doesn't ring in 15 minutes, I think I'll be good for the rest of the show.
Fair enough.
And how I know that you had taken some time off from the VTubing side of things while you updated some stuff. What's new with the Kaya 2 channel?
Nothing pretty much yet. I got a new outfit. I do have a version 2 model, not rigged yet, because I need more money for that. It is expensive.
I think
I
that's
haven't
one
really
thing.
had time to stream. That's been the issue.
I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't fully understand or know about the VTuber side of things is getting the rigs and getting the models made and everything. That isn't cheap.
Yeah, rigging, at least for my new models, probably going to cost me over $3,000. Just to put it in retrospect. And that's the new model and probably the outfit for this one.
You're spending money like myself.
Kaya puts the $3,000 into the VTuber side of things. Darren puts $3,000 into a truck just so he can continue working.
And don't forget the anime figures.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I have to wait till after Anime Boston before I can go down and pick up the anime figure that Darren has for me.
and I put $3,000 into travel.
So 2 of us are doing it for work-related things. One's doing it for leisure. I see how it is.
Yes, but let's be real. I work as an admin. I don't and in my free time I play tabletop RPGs on a live stream, and I do this, and I put actual work into this stuff.
I was about to say, what's leisure time? What's free time?
Touche,
It's what you'll have when you leave Bojangles.
no, he'll just fill that with landscaping.
Yeah, but you won't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do landscaping in most cases.
if I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and all I have is landscaping to do, it's either because I automatically woke up or I got major maintenance that needs to be done or I have a whole day to plan out. And thankfully, my business is not quite there yet.
That's
I
why you
still
need to
have
call
some on
Triple
my
S Lawn Care and get him busier.
pretty much. My phone's been blowing up because
Oh,
the pollinating is happening.
indeed.
I've noted that all of my coworkers and co-managers' allergies are starting to drive us nuts. So spring is definitely almost here.
Yep.
One of my friends who's going to be vending at Anime Boston has free run figures.
Oh, don't tell me that. I don't know if I'll have the money for it. Ah,
I want one.
yeah. Freerin has been the fantasy anime we didn't know we needed. In all honesty, I'm not gonna lie. Freerin has gone above and beyond my expectations when it came to the show, and I know I talk about it a lot. In fact, I think I annoy my wife at times with how much I really have enjoyed Freerin. But the story, like the story pacing feels slow, but it feels slow on purpose, and it doesn't hinder the story at all. And it doesn't need to have high impact action scenes that go hard, but when it comes time for the action, they definitely don't skimp out. It really it like hits everything really really good.
About
Um,
about like Kobayashi did with season 2.
uh I
Mhm.
would put some of the action scenes up there with that opening fight sequence between Toka and
Toka.
not Toka, Toru.
I have to say, this isn't.
Data Live.
Yeah.
We were talking Data Live earlier, so that's where my mind kind of got Toka from. But yeah, it especially the tournament arc that they're in. Um, I'm caught up in Japanese, so I've seen everything that's out thus far, and I can't wait for season 2. I think there's still one more episode to drop in season 1. I think it was 28 episodes, not 26 or 27. But I am really curious to see where the story goes from here. It has not disappointed thus far. I've really enjoyed it, and I like that it's thrown a bunch of different aspects into the story. You can see the hint of romance. You can feel the nostalgia from the flashbacks that Freeran has about comparing the time that she's in now to the time that she was with the heroes party, and really you can see a lot of you know connections made between everything. It really has all right, it's just been a fantastic show. I would dare say I possibly would put it in my top 5 of all time. And I know Angela's gonna wait till some of the hype dies down, but before she watches it. But if you want to binge it, they have 27 episodes dropped in Japanese. Was that one you were watching too, Kaya?
Yep, I'm on episode 10 right now.
I won't spoil anything, but this is, like I said, it's kind of like the nice breath of fresh air after all of these isekai fantasies where everything just seems carbon copy. I like that this whole focus was different. What has been your opinion after 10 episodes?
About the same. It's a nice, refreshing series. There's so many isekais lately. It's just been like the same thing over and over. Probably like why I like soul leveling, because that's not really an isekai.
Well, it is a manhwa adaptation.
I still want to be isekai'd when I die.
Where to?
Who knows?
I'll put you in the land of with Tanya.
I don't know. I don't know that I would want to be there. I think I would rather end up being like, Konosuba or.
ReZero?
No, I don't want to die as many times as Subaru does. Although Kazuma dies quite a bit in Konosuba too.
No thanks to Aqua.
Yeah, and Ross agrees with me in wanting to be isekai. Speaking of an isekai, that I saw this earlier this week, Darren. I think you posted about it in the group chat. Demon Lord Retry is getting a season 2. Why?
Because it knew you wanted more bunnies.
Oh, true. Oh, you wanted more buddies. You're the bunny girl guy.
Hmm.
Remember, I like the cat girls and the dragon girls. Kaya got worried there. I saw the eyes go, whoa. You're safe,
I've
Kaya.
never actually heard of this one.
Demon Lord Retry?
It's an isekai that I basically bothered Doug into watching because I knew he'd like it, and that was right.
And then we tracked that. Like, there are 2 different bunny girls in the show. Like, they go to a village of bunny people, and they just got into the habit of, after they talk, they say either bunny or hop. And I've had the honor of meeting both, interviewing one of the voice actresses and meeting the other one in person unexpectedly at Kineticon. So, but it's a fun show. I'm trying to remember. I guarantee, Darren, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch Demon Lord Retry before season 2 comes out, just to refresh myself, kind of like I've done with some of these other season 2s and stuff. It's another one that there was some time between season 1 and season 2. But it could work out. End up being like Kuma Bear, where that was a season 2 I didn't know I needed. It didn't need one, but it was excellent.
Well, the Mob Psycho season 3 was a season that wasn't necessary but was well deserved.
And I mentioned it earlier, but Rob, do you know when the new Love Live season is going to come out for Superstar?
I haven't heard anything. They've been posting a lot of stuff about their little V2 project themselves, and then they've had lives, but nothing about a new anime, other than the other group's anime that's coming out this season.
That show was horrible. I'm sorry, but I
didn't like it either.
I couldn't get through it. And ironically, talking about the Nijisaki, or however you pronounce that. A fun little story you'll get a kick out of, Kaya. Knowing how big you are into the idol anime, I was, as a conductor trainee, I was working with a conductor who walks in and has an anime girl pin on his bag. And I looked, I said, "Oh, Love Live." He goes, "How did you know that?" I said, "Because I like anime as well, and that's definitely a Love Live character. But I can't tell which show that was from." He goes, "Oh, it was from the Ninja or whatever, the high school one." I'm like, "Oh, the worst of the group." He didn't like that because that was his favorite of the bunch. I'm like, if I had to order it, the original Love Live was fantastic. Then Superstar, Sunshine, and then probably anything else they make, and then that high school one would be at the bottom. Because at least I've gotten through all of the other seasons. Except for that Yohane spinoff, I couldn't get into that.
Really? I liked it.
I like watched one. I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes. I'm like, no, this just isn't for me. Granted, Sunshine is like was ranked 3rd out of the 4 different groupings. And Angela, I think, is home, so she'll be joining us back in just a little bit. And John Knight asked, Kaya, have you watched Reborn as a Vending Machine? I Now Wander the Dungeon.
I never watched that one. That was one I skipped on that season.
Angela refuses to, even though we hound her. My wife doesn't like isekai, but she agrees with me that it had no right being as good as it is. It was a lot better than it should have been. And Darren and Angela both can tell you that I was hoping it was going to suck so I could clown on it. And it was really good. Did you watch that one, Darren?
Nope. I have 0 time. So.
Fail.
I know.
And it looks like Angela is going to be back momentarily. Now, focusing on your channel, Kaya, you said you haven't been able to stream much. When you do stream, are you like a gaming VTuber or different type of performances? Do you collab with other VTubers? What can people expect if they want to tune into your channel?
A lot of Final Fantasy 14 and some JRPGs. Mostly Final Fantasy 14 right now.
There we go.
Angela has made it home.
And immediately had to reboot my computer upon getting home because my computer wasn't recognizing my internet.
And we had an internet issue here yesterday where it just dropped for no reason out of nowhere. It was like, wait, what?
Yep.
Gotta love computers.
I love technology.
And in the chat, Ross says, Kaya, are you a Digimon fan or not?
Yes, I am. "25 years of Digimon." So I think they just celebrated 25.
Digimon.
I think they did. Now,
I think you might be right.
Unfortunately, they have for Anime Boston side of things, they don't have any like panels or programming set up yet. So I can't go through about any of the upcoming panels that are going to be there. I know, Kaya, you were talking about Holo Live. They do have 8 Holo Live guests that are going to be there. And I don't know that I can pronounce half of these names. Koseki Baiju, Banzoin Haka, Gavis Bettel, Iris. That's a cute model for Iris. I don't know any of these, but I might have to look into
Iris is awesome.
Like I love the model. I like the characters that have the 2 different colored eyes.
Iris is a very good singer.
We have Muna Hoshinova, Narissa Ravencroft, Shiori Novella, and Tsunomaki Watame. Like I said, I don't know much in the VTuber world or the Holo Live world outside of like a very select few Iron Mouse, Shy Lily, Bow the Whale, Fillion. Those are the ones that I will watch like the shorts of or catch sometimes. Now, most of the time with Iron Mouse, it's because of Sea Dog VA that I end up seeing her stuff. Which part of me hopes that because they have Kaho coming to Anime Boston, that Connor shows up.
That would be nice, but
I doubt it.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard when you live on the East Coast.
Yeah, I know Connor makes a lot of West Coast appearances. He's been to LA quite a bit over the last few years for everything from the streaming awards to the chess boxing match, which he got into the slap fight with Ludwig, which was absolutely hysterical. I still can't believe Chris Broad won in the chess boxing. I figured he was going to lose in the boxing side of things. And Ross in the chat says Iron Mouse, I think, won 2 awards last year. I think she won like VTuber of the Year award for 2023. And Fillion, I know, was nominated in that category, but she didn't win because I saw her reaction video. Because Fillion said that she would do a face reveal if she won that, and she didn't win. So she's like, you have to wait another year.
I want to know how many VR headsets she's broken.
That's a good question.
Too many?
I mean, all the times that like she does the backflips and all of that stuff. I mean, I give these people a lot of credit for the VTuber side of things. I know very little about it, which is why it's great to have you come on and explain some of the VTuber side of things. Because last time you were on, especially, you gave us a lot of great information that none of us ever really thought about from the VTuber side, like figuring out the models and things of that nature. And how did you? We may have asked this before, but for our new viewers out there. And now that we're up on streaming platforms, we have a lot of new listeners throughout the world. How did you come up with the concept for your model? Was it an idea that you already had, or was it something that you worked with an artist to get just right?
It is based off my Final Fantasy XIV character, weirdly enough.
Interesting. And Mira Moonfall Vermont says, here from Kaya with a heart.
Mira! She's also a fellow VTuber.
Oh, awesome. I do, there is a lot of love that I send out to the VTuber community because it is very entertaining. I do enjoy watching VTubers when I get the chance. I just don't have a lot of time to watch them outside of shorts and stuff of that nature when scrolling through YouTube or things of that nature, or things like that. But a lot of respect because having an idea of what goes on behind the scenes, thanks to Kaya and some of the other VTubers I've had the honor of meeting, it's a whole different world.
Oh, yeah. All the scuff, all the technical. Don't recommend 2 PC setup unless you want to have a lot of headaches. That's what I do. And I think that was half the issue. Because as I said, I had to use my second PC to even get my microphone to work.
So a lot of craziness. And now, would you ever cosplay as your character?
Probably not. Unless someone actually kind of pushed me to do it. I'm too shy.
And I know Kaya personally, so that's one of the reasons I was asking, because that would be very much out of their comfort zone.
Yep.
But then again, I did cosplay as Kobayashi at Anime Boston a couple years ago.
So now I know in the past there were VTubing panels at PAX. And as I haven't actually 100% looked at the schedule, are there any VTubing panels that you know of this year?
I didn't notice any when I looked through the schedule. And I've been checking it just in case they update it.
The most up to date is going to be on the app, which I have been checking, but again, I've been looking for oddly specific things, mostly pertaining to friends' interests.
Now, for somebody like me who has never been to PAX but would be interested in going, what would you recommend to a newcomer to PAX to make the experience more entertaining, a little less stressful? Some tips to be prepared for what they can expect from PAX East or a PAX event.
One, I'm gonna start by I would start by basically asking what is the if you've looked at the schedule at all, what is the one thing you want to do? If you don't do, you'll be upset.
Yep.
Because and working at info booth, I tend to I've gotten that question before. If you don't necessarily have any specific thing you really want to do, then it goes to, well, what broad stroke thing do you want to do? Are you more interested in the tabletop side of things? Are you more interested in the video game demos? Are you more interested in panels about specific things? And then it's pick a direction and go. Because there's a lot of indie game demos both on the board game side of things as well as the video game side of things, and the indie game demos, depending on how far along they are, do not actually usually get long lines. It's you play a quick demo and then you talk to the developer.
That's kind of
I agree with that.
Like I said, I've never, in all the years of going to conventions in New England, PAX is one of the ones I've never had the opportunity to get to.
Knowing you, if you were to go to PAX, you would probably, if you went on Saturday, you would be probably overwhelmed by the expo hall within 10 minutes. And I say that knowing, having spent time with you at cons.
Yeah.
That said, one of the good things about PAX is the BCEC is they actually do it really well, where the different tracks, if you will, are in different spots, and there's definitely quieter spaces where if you got way too overwhelmed by the expo hall, you can definitely find your way out and then find a quieter room. There's a designated AFK room for the people that are way too overstimulated and just need to not be around people or loud noises.
Now, I was looking through the PAX East website, and it shows that they have different guests that are going to be showing up.
Yep.
Are there any people specifically that you're excited about that are going to be guests there, or?
Let me.
I'm gonna look.
Because I see a lot of different streamers, Nintendo Fangirl, Nemesis LaCroix, PAX Pokemon League. I don't really see any streamers or gamers that I know, but I know some of the people I watch do attend.
There's definitely some people I recognize, definitely some that I don't.
Not many I recognize, but I usually like if I get tired or bored, I usually go to the Games Done Quick area where they do speed runs basically
There's
all day.
that is a thing that people do. Um, another thing is in the there's designated area where there's a TV set up with Jackbox games, and you could literally sit there all day. And they usually mark off a giant area with gaff tape for people to sit in where like it won't cause safety hazards and whatnot. But you can sit and play Jackbox. On the other side, there's a Just Dance setup where you get in line. Where if you want to do that, you get in line and then you pick a song and you.
And Ross in the chat is asking a question because he doesn't understand, but he's heard the terminology. AFK is away from keyboard.
And
What?
And yeah, that's the gamer term, AFK, away from keyboard. But in convention terms, it's basically you go to the quiet room and
Away from chaos.
pretty much.
Chaos. The,
But no, if you are one of those people that enjoys the larger expo style conventions, that's largely what PAX is.
Now, in terms of merchandise, because a lot of the bigger events, like Anime Boston, I've always said is a better convention for networking and for finding the hard to find collectible merchandise. Whereas, as opposed to a smaller convention where you have a better chance of actually spending more time talking to the voice acting guests or seeing friends or things of that nature. For PAX East, is there a lot of different vendors there, artists, things like similar to what you could find at an anime or a Comic Con?
It is very different. Art, not so much. Merch. PAX has its own merch booth. For those people that do the pin collecting, that's a big thing, and there are a number of vendors that will have the enamel pins that you can purchase and then trade. That's a whole big thing. Not, I don't partake, but I know about it. There's usually booths, like there's a lot of nerdy t-shirt. There's at least one, usually multiple booths that sell like nerdy accessories, nerdy t-shirts, computer stuff. There was a custom video game controller booth. And then like there's usually like from the tabletop side of things, vendors that sell dice and tokens and anything you could possibly need for your RPG.
And Kaya's keeping up with the chat more than I'm able to keep up with reading the comments. But John Knight had asked Kaya if they have watched Attack on Titan, which Kaya, you said yes, but not the last season.
If you didn't watch the last season and left it at season 3, that's probably for the best.
I've heard stories, so I'm not gonna watch.
I was going to recommend you don't bother.
And then also, John Knight is a very big into collecting the Blu-rays, and always has a lot of amazing information about when certain Blu-rays are dropping. But he was asking Kaya, do you collect the Blu-rays?
I actually don't have many Blu-rays. Most of my collection is all DVD. I didn't really collect anything after that. I started getting into figure collecting around like 2014. So I stopped collecting all the DVDs.
And I
Well-
have to ask, knowing how big you are into the idol anime fandom, how many Love Live figures do you think you have?
Probably over 100.
And y'all think we're crazy on figure collecting.
I probably have almost 300 figures now.
Oh my god, that definitely blows me out of the water.
That blows me out of the water.
I blow you out of the water on figure collecting, Darren.
True.
So what you guys are
I blow you out of the water on Blu-rays.
So
Yeah.
what you guys are telling me is when I go to Japan in the fall and when I go to Akibahara, I should take pictures of all the figure shops and whatnot and post them.
Yes. Especially the ones down the alleyway, please. There's some really good ones down in the alleys.
I will. What I will do is I will throughout my trip. What I will do is post some pictures to the AZR Instagram page. And it will probably be the shops, the food, and then whatever scenery I find interesting.
And none of your business says, Darren, your figurines aren't why I think you're crazy.
Is it a documentary? Is it what? Why am I crazy?
Although I will say, since we're on this topic of figures, Black Knight Anime Games and More up in Vermont. I miss having a very good anime store like that close by, because there really is nothing out here that's even close to as good as of an anime store as that place is. They had some pre-orders up of Akano and Rias. I don't know if you've seen the new figures that are going to be coming out of those two, knowing how big of a DxD fan you are.
Of course I have. Have I considered getting them? Yes. Is my wallet allowing for that this exact moment?
No.
No. Because my equipment cost me a lot since the beginning of this year.
Question for Kaya from Ross. On the idol subject, did you ever watch Selection Project during the pandemic?
I don't remember. I think I did. When you watch too many animes, you can't remember which one you watched.
I know that feeling all too well.
I think we are all in that boat of we've seen so many shows that it's easy to there are shows that you just forget about because they weren't really good or really bad. They were just, they're entertaining enough for you to get through them, but but they're not memorable enough. And then you have the shows that you absolutely loved. And then you have the shows that stick in your memory that were absolutely terrible, but they stick in your memory because they were that bad.
Yep.
Aiken, School Days, amongst others.
Full Dive was my recent one of those.
Let's see. What was another bad one? Actually.
Do you have any shows that stick in your head, Kaya, that you watch that you're like, this is just absolute crap? Why did I watch this?
Not recently. I don't really.
You don't have that capacity to actually watch it the whole way through.
Right. If I stop a show, that's probably why. I just have no interest in it anymore.
I'm trying to
And
remember some of the lower rated shows.
Ross gets into detail. Selection Project was the one with the idols being selected through a American Idol TV series, but the main girl in her younger years had a heart transplant.
Well, according to Crunchyroll, I did not watch it.
Do you have my anime list account?
I do. I do not. I don't think I do.
Now, switching back to the convention side of things. Angela, what are you looking forward to from Anime Boston? Knowing that you're going to be hitting back to back between PAX and AB, what has you excited for Anime Boston this year?
Like we honestly, the musical guest number 1. Number 2, catching up with friends I haven't seen in far too long. And honestly, the fact that they've got a lot of Japanese guests this year, like that's a big thing.
Yeah, they have 2 Japanese voice actors that are going to be there, Yukana and Yuya Hirose. I'm not sure what they have voiced. Let's see here. So she was in Toilet Bound, Hanako-kun, Bleach, Arafueta, Gundam Breaker, Battlelog, World Trigger, Digimon Adventure, Code Geass. These are just some of the ones that I've heard of. Some of these are the Japanese titles, so I may not know. Full Metal Panic, Free, Dragon Ball Superheroes, Cardcaptor Sakura. So she's been in a lot of stuff. I do know some of the high dive voice talent that they brought in. Darren, you'd be impressed, but they have the voice of the main character from Call of the Night is going to be at Anime Boston. Natalie Rial. She was Nazuna. She was also the voice of Kana Arima in Oshinoko. Yayoi Hazuki from Dark Gathering. Rui Tachibana from Domestic Girlfriend. Momo Deviluk in To Love Ru. Tione from Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? So that's exciting to have her there. Wasn't Momo like best girl from To Love Ru? Oh, Darren's not even here. He's got his mic muted. And John Knight in the chat says today is Kyle Phillips, Caitlin Barr, and Patrick Seitz birthdays. So happy birthday to all of them. Since Darren's not here, I can get the jab in of saying Caitlin Barr voices best character in Date Alive and Natsumi, who came in season 3. But get the fun little jab in.
Ross says, no, Doug, it was Elise Runjewel into Love Ru, the green hair girl.
I don't know, because I know Lala had the two sisters, and one of them was better than the other. But that's the fun of the anime fandom, where you can have the waifu wars, or best girl wars, best guy wars.
And to Kaya
Angela
from
just stays out of there.
John Knight, what's your favorite anime?
Of all time? That's a hard one.
If not all time, a recent favorite.
I would say Symphogear would be my recent favorite, even though it's not really recent, but past like 8 years. But some people don't know of that series.
And Ross says, in terms of the alien twins, Nana, he thinks was best.
Well, whatever.
Angela usually stays out of that talk.
Well, 9 times out of 10, it's shows I haven't watched, so why should I care?
And when it is shows you've watched, you still really don't care. Although I think you agreed with Marin being best girl.
For that season, yes.
For that year.
No. If Spy Family wasn't that year, then probably.
And I'm curious, Kaya, what intrigued you into getting into like the idol culture and the idol animes?
I would say it was when I watched Symphogear, weirdly enough, because it wasn't really Love Live that got me into it. Because I didn't really know about idol anime until watching that, and then I found out about Idol Masters, and I started watching that. Then I watched Love Live.
Because I remember my introduction to Love Live was because of Anime Boston. That the year that they had the big, like they had a stage up for Love Live, and it was also Your Lie in April was the other big one.
Oh, I remember that.
That year that they were all like, those were the two big shows that Anime Boston was all about. And because of going to AB that year, we actually went and watched both those series. And Your Lie in April was kind of predictable in a way. Like you kind of knew what was going to happen, but. And more questions coming for you, Kaya, from the chat. John Knight asked, have you watched Data Live? And Ross wants to know, have you seen AKB 0048?
Yes to both, and with Data Live, I've also played the game. So I kind of know what's going to happen if they go the same route.
And Ross says 10th anniversary of Karo's death is this year. I'm not sure what that is.
Of
And
calories?
Kaori's death?
Darren's back.
Sorry, I had to take a phone call.
Fair.
I'm the one that took the phone call, not Doug.
From the chat, I don't know if he's got astronaut because John Knight says, Kaya, did you ever watch Data Live?
Yep, we did. We did just ask that.
And then AKB48.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow, it's been 10 years since Your Lie in April came out.
Wow.
My God, I haven't gone to Anime Boston for a long time.
Why is the Anime Boston programming schedule not up yet?
I know. I was looking at that. I'm like, it's not up there.
Because they like to be last minute like most other conventions.
Anime Boston's very good about being last minute with stuff. I mean, we're 2
Yeah,
weeks
no.
out and they're still announcing guests. So I think
Also,
once the programming actually gets posted, that's when they stop dropping guests. So I think there's going to be more guest announcements.
I want to see what anime they're going to be premiering because usually every year there's at least one that's a premiere.
I still remember the year of going to Bakuretsu Con up in Colchester, Vermont, and they were dropping. They were premiering Girls in Panzer in English dub, and they actually had somebody from High Dive there with a physical copy that they were playing in the video room. And then, I didn't hear about it until after the time that they were actually playing the English dub of it. But when I went and talked to the staffer in charge of the video room, he goes, "Yeah, just a heads up, that DVD is going to be in the charity auction." So I made sure that I saved my money for bidding on that, which I did end up winning it before you technically could buy it.
Also in the chat, thank you, Ross, for this one. This year will mark the 10th anniversary of the death of Casey Kasem.
The original voice of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
And also the one that did the American Top 40 countdown, which I hear almost every weekend because one of my radio stations plays recasts of that every single weekend. And it's like he never left us.
Yeah, Casey Kasem was definitely one of those iconic voices in the radio world.
Yep.
Still 10 years? My gosh. Where has the time gone?
I was in high school 10 years ago. This is my senior year.
"10 years ago, I had left my ex-wife and moved back to Massachusetts."
I think 10 years ago, that might have been the year I lost my job leading into Anime Boston Day Zero.
And Kaya doesn't want to say.
No, it was just normal. I worked at my old job. And I think that's when I actually got transferred closer to Boston. I didn't want to go.
And John Knight in the chat says, in case you didn't know, today is the 27th anniversary of Toonami.
Wow. And I'm 28.
I don't want to say my age.
You are probably younger. Actually, you might be younger than me.
Close to 40.
And
you're younger than I'm still the oldest one here.
And if you are not yet 40, you are younger than me. Well, I will not give a number. I will say life, the universe, and everything as your clue.
And I am older than Angela, so.
I'm a baby.
Yep.
None Your Business says they're 42. I have a birthday coming up in a few weeks, and actually, my wife has a birthday coming up soon as well. Ross says that he's 40 minus 7. John Knight, 25. I'm 40 with a few years of experience of being 40. Well, we'll just say that. And Angela's 30 with many years of experience at being 30.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
It sounds better that way. And John Knight says that his birthday's on Memorial Day this year. My birthday doesn't fall on anything special. I think my birthday falls on a Thursday.
My birthday is the day of infamy.
Yeah. Actually, Anime Boston, I think, almost falls perfectly between my wife's and my birthday this year.
Nice.
Nope. I too this year will have a convention birthday, just at the end of the year.
PAX Unplugged?
Yep. PAX Unplugged if my birthday falls during that weekend this year.
And you're a regular out there, so maybe I'll have something special for you. Maybe I can figure out how to sneak away to Philadelphia. And Darren, I think you were on your phone call when I had mentioned it earlier, but one of the guests for Anime Boston is the voice of Nazuna from Call of the Night. Natalie Rial does her English voice.
Awesome. And speaking of which, you know we're getting a new season of that, right?
Yeah. I hope Creepy Nuts does the soundtrack for that one too. It won't be the same if they don't.
Right now they're getting too much praise having done Mashals.
I did hear about that. I did hear that they weren't expecting as much publicity doing the Mashal opening as they've gotten.
To answer your question, Ross, what in the heck is infamy? The Day of Infamy is a reference to Pearl Harbor. And John Knight in the chat, Kaya, Funimation website and app says
We'll be shutting down on April 2nd.
Yep. I never used Funimation.
I did for a long time. At one point in time, I was actually one of those crazy people who had the High Dive app, Funimation, and Crunchyroll.
And Netflix, right?
And Netflix.
Oh, wow.
And Hulu.
He had everything.
Now I just don't have Funimation.
But
Others.
Did you get the Hulu, the bundle that includes
Disney?
Disney Plus and Hulu.
Yeah, we got the Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu Plus bundle.
Yeah, same.
So that's why I have all of those.
I don't have any of that.
Because
I needed High Dive so I could watch Shine Post, which, in my opinion, is still like the top idol anime that I've watched.
I haven't found enough on High Dive to warrant me getting a subscription yet.
But Sentai's taking all the good titles nowadays.
Yep.
It's one of those when there's enough on that service that interests me, I will consider a subscription.
There's plenty, just not your type.
Precisely. I'm not knocking the quality of the content. I'm just saying none of it interests me personally. Or I haven't found enough that interests me to justify spending money on a subscription.
I'm just saying, Sentai's picked up a lot of titles that Funimation would never dream of touching in past years, and I was all for it. If I'm not mistaken, they picked up several. Unfortunately, no one got the license to interspecies reviewers, but it was made available for DVD through one of a third party company that had connections. I forget how that got released.
And then Ross in the chat, I love the idol anime. Engaku Shoujo on Crunchyroll about a tone-deaf girl who is a manager for an idol group. Have either of you guys seen that?
Nope.
Nope.
Sounds interesting. And I know what you're talking about, Darren, with High Dive getting shows. And I know you were watching Gushing Over Magical Girls. Have you caught up on that?
Yes. I haven't seen the most recent episode, but yes, it's turned into it's interesting. The only thing I can't get over is how they straight up stole Cube.
It is a very interesting show.
Yeah. I was not expecting it when I started watching it, but I think it's one of those train wrecks that I'm like Angela
There for the
says,
long
I've
haul.
gotten this far, I might as well finish it.
Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite in that one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's tough.
Why? Because they're all not a good choice.
Yeah, I don't think there's a good choice. It's definitely not the Alice in Wonderland character.
You know,
Definitely not her.
I'm not gonna lie. Loco Musica was interesting.
I think she might have been the cutest one of all of them, but I still don't know if
Yep.
I'd go after any of them.
See,
Azure, probably, maybe.
I still think Angela would get a kick out of it. It wouldn't be one that she would just sit down and watch, but I think she'd get a kick out of the stupidity of it, but she'd lose interest. That'd be one to be like, just watch one episode. Just pick an episode at random and watch it.
Episode 6.
oh God.
What? I picked the most interesting one of the bunch. Or
I don't-
episode 9? No, 10? Which one had Loco with the other one? Was it 9 or 10?
10.
I had 10.
Yeah,
Then I picked 10.
10. Because 11 was the most recent one.
Okay, I haven't seen 11.
Okay, Ross, what is your question about Astronaut? And John Knight, the next thing in the chat, Kaya, John Knight wants to know if you've ever watched Horimiya.
Top tier.
I don't think I have.
Top tier romance.
I have not. Oh, no. Did I watch Boromir?
I think Leanne did.
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay. Yeah, I think my wife watched that one.
See, Ross, Ross elaborates on his question. They have a talking poodle with a ray gun, but in general, what would be a better animal for a sci-fi comedy? I think he thinks a poodle would be a bad idea.
A better animal for a sci-fi comedy.
You know what? If we're going comedy, I kind of actually the idea of a poodle with a ray gun is just ridiculous, and therefore I think if we're going for comedy, that would actually work.
What about a sphinx? Just because they kind of look ridiculous, being a hair. And I know my wife loves sphinx, and she would love to own one at some point. But just the way they look. A sphinx or some form of chimera. So you have a mashup of a bunch of animals. What do you think, Kaya?
I'm just going to say a cat.
I
I
wonder
don't know
why.
Cat with a gun.
With freaking laser beams on their freaking heads. That is definitely one of the more interesting questions we've had in chat in a long time. Thank you, Ross. And looking at the time, we've only got about 10 minutes left on the show. Once again, we want to thank Kaya for joining us. It's been a lot of fun having you on the show. I know it's been a while since we've actually had a chance to hang out and talk. We were supposed to go to a concert together last year, and it fell through. Did they ever talk about redoing dates for that? Or
no, they're not gonna. That was a whole debacle I can tell you about later.
Did you at least get refunded for the money
Yeah,
you spent on tickets?
Yeah, everybody got refunded. Like even the people that performed and didn't know it got canceled. That's how bad it was.
Wow. Wow. None of your business is actually saying, Doug, or someone said Sphinx and then made a Dr. Evil reference without realizing that Dr. Evil's cat was a Sphinx when it lost its fur.
no, I knew that. That's why I made the reference. That was actually planned. I'm glad somebody caught that. And of all the nights, I have a chat group that I belong to, of all the people that I graduated from conductor training school with down in Georgia, and of all nights that it's active, it hasn't been active in weeks. And tonight it's just been blowing up through the whole show. I keep getting bubbles that pop up, and that's part of the reason I keep looking at my phone. I'm like, who's still around? Because this is about the time that all of us have, that just about everybody who was in class last July should be getting marked up to being conductors, no longer trainees. And they're trying to figure out who amongst us is still A, working for the railroad, B, has been marked up, if anybody's still in trainee status, which I think just about everybody's marked up now.
And John Knight also agrees with Kat
Kaya.
for Ross's question. And Ross then says, Doug, I say a hippo would be a good animal for a sci-fi comedy. I don't know. I think that's too much. But that's just me.
How about a dodo bird? Or would that just be too predictable?
An emu.
I have to say, there's one of those in Pokemon. You have Doduo and Dodrio.
And then you have Dodo Airlines from Animal Crossing.
See, I feel like that's just too much.
And John Knight says next Sunday is Palm Sunday. And next Sunday, Angela, I think you lined a guest up for us.
Yes, I did. A good friend of mine has a table in Artist Alley. And she agreed to come on to do some more Anime Boston promo.
Awesome. So look forward to that for next week. Again, we want to thank Kaya Tunu for joining us tonight. As I mentioned earlier, it's always great to have you on. Always great to touch base. Kaya is one of the most awesome people that I have the opportunity to hang out with conventions when they are there. Unfortunately, the last few conventions I've gone to, due to scheduling, work, or other reasons, Kaya has not been able to make it. But at some point, we'll get to a convention together again.
Yep.
If it wasn't for Final Fantasy, it would have been AB.
Oh yeah. Well, Easter weekend's hard for me now too, because how my job is, it's a lot of money I put on the table if I take that weekend.
True, and when it costs you $3,000 to get your rigging and model and everything set up, that kind of money is very beneficial.
Oh yeah.
Until you start making the money off of your Twitch channel, which if people want to find you and watch you when you are streaming, where can they find you?
They can find me at twitch.tv Kaya Tienu.
Be sure to tune in and check out the stuff. As you said, you've been doing a lot of Final Fantasy recently. So if you're a fan of the Final Fantasy franchise, check out Kaya's channel. Are you usually playing on your own, or do you have collabs with some other?
I'm usually by my own.
I have caught a stream or two of yours when you're with other people too.
Do you have a guild that you play with, or?
Yeah, I'm in a free company. I do have people I can play, and also they've starting to do cross data center. So now you can go to different data centers. And they're doing a test this Sunday. You can actually go from NA to Oceanic, which will be interesting. So we'll be able to cross that way, which will open up a lot more.
That'll get interesting with time zones, I assume.
Yep.
Now, Final Fantasy 14 I've never played, but I have a lot of friends who do. So
I've never played it. The last one I played was like 10 and 10 too.
So 14's the MMO.
11 and 14 are the MMOs, yeah.
Yep.
I would probably need a new computer to be able to play something like that then. Because I can't even play Minecraft on this computer. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you definitely need a computer.
Agreed. I was about to crack a joke, but Ross says, Kaya, are you excited for Paper Mario Thousand Year Door coming out in May?
I may play it, but I haven't touched my Switch in over a year.
Too busy, or just nothing? No games released that grabbed your attention.
It's just too busy. Like I PC game mostly, and I didn't even finish Paper Mario, which got released. I bought it but never finished it.
That's fair. No, I've been going back and forth between my PC and my PS5.
I've been playing a lot. When I have been gaming, it's been on the Switch. Typically Minecraft, although I was playing some Pokemon Arceus earlier today. And yesterday when we lost internet, because I could play that without internet connection. And my wife is trying something crazy with that. She is trying to get 10 stars. For those of you who have played the Pokemon Arceus game, the more research you do, the more stars you collect. And she is trying to max their star level out of 10 before leaving the first area. She's got over 94 hours into the game and hasn't left the first area yet.
Wow.
She's trying to complete every Pokemon has certain things that you need to do, like use a certain move X amount of times or defeat X amount of these characters or catch X amount. Like Zubat, you have to catch like 5 during daytime. So there's a lot that you have to do and each one probably has 6 or 7 different things that you have to complete X number of times. So she's trying to basically 100% complete the Pokédex. But that's going to be a lot of time invested in that.
Oh, yeah.
And
Don't
Ross
feel
says,
too bad. I had several Pokemon games with well over 300 hours each.
Ross in the chat says, good night, everybody. And says to Kaya, continue to do your best.
Will do.
And again, thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank you to all of you awesome people who listen to us via the podcast platforms. We do appreciate you tuning in wherever you may be listening to us. I know that we have listeners all over the globe, so that blows my mind. Keep an eye on our schedule. You never know when things are going to change. And we have to figure out when, within the probably sometime during the week after Anime Boston, we are going to do a 10-year anniversary special. It might be, it'll probably be April 7th. So that the Sunday after Anime Boston, we'll probably be doing something special for that. I've just got to figure out what, because that will be our 10-year anniversary date. It is technically April 6th, but I believe I will have April 7th off. So,
And yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned to the ACR socials, because I might, if the Wi-Fi and the BCEC cooperates, attempt to do some live nonsense. But technology might fail. But in the off chance it doesn't, y'all get to see a little bit of facts.
and if you're in the Boston area in the next couple of weeks, come on out. Come check out PAX East. Go say hi to Kaya and Angela. If you're at Anime Boston, come say hi to me and Angela. We'd love to see you guys in person. Love to chat with you, get your opinions on the conventions, on the show. Any information or requests that you have, feel free to send us messages either here or on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Anime-Zing Radio. We would love to hear from all of our fans out there. Love the fact that you all tune in every week, take time out of your busy schedules to listen to us rant and rave about randomness for a couple hours. And until next week, when we have a talented artist joining us, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Keep enjoying the anime, and we'll see you again right here for more Anime-Zing Radio, right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Good